What's up, y'all? Welcome to Successful Sundays. This is my first time doing it, not only on YouTube, but also on TikTok. The point of Successful Sundays is to set you up for success of your week ahead. Many of us tend to dread the Monday, and Sundays are the days for us to reset, but we also have a tough time doing that. So, Successful Sundays is basically here to help you reset. So, first things first, what we always do, we start off with a deep breath, some deep breathing. So, I invite you to close down your eyes. I want you to think about how you want your week to be ahead. And when we inhale, we're going to inhale all that good energy. And when we exhale, we're going to exhale any energy that's been holding us and weighing us down. All right. So inhale through your nose, good energy. Sigh it out, any energy that's been weighing you down. Okay. Inhale through your nose, good energy. Sigh out any energy that's been weighing you down. One more time. Inhale. Sigh it out. Okay. We're also going to start for affirmation real quick, and then we're going to get into how we're going to do a Q2 audit reset. So this week on TikTok, I released a mini workshop of how you could break down going from Q1 into Q2 without feeling too overly stressed. So I'm going to break everything down today on Successful Sundays, but I'm going to start real quick with an affirmation. I am so grateful to be alive, healthy, and thriving. I'm so grateful to be alive, healthy, and thriving. That's what we're going to start off with. All right, so let's get into it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, hit follow. Every Sunday, 11 a.m., Successful Sundays, I go live, unless I just can't do it, and I'll always let you guys know. So the framework that I used this week was the 4R framework. First things first, we're going to reflect. How did Q1 really go? What are some of the things that worked and didn't work? We're going to review that. We're going to take like a more of a bigger review. And I'm going to break each step down on how you could do this. So please do not feel worried. Reimagine. Reimagine is a very important step that we lose as we get older because we forget that we can actually still visualize, and we forget that we can actually still go on basis of stuff that we used to draw pictures as a kid with the house and everything, and then responsibilities kind of kick in and we forget about that. But we're going to bring that more in into Q2. I'm going to break all of this down and reset. Notice how reset is the last one and not the first one. Because oftentimes we skip reflect, review, reimagine, and go straight into reset. But that's actually not the way you're supposed to do an audit and reset. And don't worry, I got you covered. I got you covered today. So first things first, reflect. You're going to reflect on, like I said, what's working and what isn't working. Okay. What have you been tolerating? What are some of the things that you know that you don't want to do, but you're doing it? What are some of the things that you know, some of the habits you know that are not working for you, but you continuously do them? What are some environments that you're in and you know damn well that you don't want to be in it? What are you tolerating? Not from just the outside, external, but also the internal, right? And be honest. Be honest with yourself. This step is the most skipped, like missed and skipped step because it takes honesty. Honesty is where your the place that you want to be, that's where it is, right? The place that you admire, the place that you've envisioned for so long, it's rest in you being honest to yourself. And yeah, be honest with where you are and where you know you intend to be. I ask you this, and this is not to make you feel bad or any way, shape, or form. The person that you said you were going to be at the beginning of this year, the goals that you've set, the goals that you set maybe towards the end of last year, are you actually taking the initiative and the steps, even if it's just 1% a day, to work towards that? That's a reflective moment. Are you taking the steps to actually be in those steps, to be where you want to be? We forget that because we have responsibilities and things happen that we forget that there's a part in our life that we intended to be, but somewhere along the way it got lost. So the question you could ask yourself again, be honest. Are you where you know you intend to be? All right, so that's reflect. Let's move over to review. Review what habits continue to show up, especially when I don't want it to. What are some habits that constantly make an appearance and you know you don't want to do, you don't want to have nothing to do with these habits at all, but they constantly come in. They constantly come in. Again, this also requires honesty, right? All of this requires honesty, but primarily being honest with yourself. It's tough. Trust me, being honest with yourself sometimes it's a difficult thing for us to do, but it's when it comes towards your goals, when it comes towards auditing, when it comes towards resetting, when it comes towards even just starting over, it lies in honesty. What are some of the beliefs I hold about myself? What are some of the limiting beliefs that you have held on for so long that you know it's no longer serving you, have never served you because it's limiting beliefs that you want to let go in this next quarter? What are some of the things that you know that you can do? And how could you tell yourself that works for you? How could you tell yourself that I know I can do this? Jennifer Lewis has a book, and if you don't know who Jennifer Lewis is, she was been on Blackish. Before that, when I grew up, I watched Jennifer Lewis on many, many shows, many movies. She was the aunt that played on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air every now and then, and she has a memoir, great memoir. And one of the things that she does, you may have seen her video talk about it, where she's brushing her teeth in the morning, and she says she's the baddest, you know what I'm saying, baddest motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to get kicked off the lot, but she's the baddest of all baddest. Start hyping yourself up. Start hyping yourself up. When you're in the mirror and you're brushing your teeth or you're combing, you're making sure you look good. Just be like, hey, yo, I do this. Like, you know what? We looking pretty good today. You're feeling good. You are your biggest hype person. I'm not trying to say sound like Flavor Flav. I'm aging myself, but I'm saying be your biggest cheerleader. Okay, in quarter two, and let go of the beliefs that you know for a fact that are holding you down. All right, and what patterns keep showing up? Every decision we make, every choices we make can turn into patterns, whether it's good or not so good, right? And the choices, decisions we make depend on what seasons we're in, right? So maybe there's certain patterns you know that you've inherited along the way, and you know that you've seen the results of it. You don't want to deal with it no more, but you continuously do it because it takes a while to break patterns that no longer serve you, right? So in this season, except before you do any work, we're just reviewing. Remember, we're just reviewing. What are the patterns that keep repeating itself? And it just keeps the same patterns, because the same patterns will produce the same results. And sometimes I say, like, yo, it's kind of like that J. Cole song, you know, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, I can't put the blame on you. I'm not gonna say the next one, but you know, if you want to look it up, fool me three times, F the peace sign, roll the chopper, let it lay on you. Anyways, going on to number 3 is reimagine. This is where we're gonna start visualizing. And I invite you to do so if you're open for it. Let's just close on our eyes for a moment. Let's just take a second. I want you to reimagine and visualize where you want to be in quarter two, by the end of quarter two. What are you doing? How are you accomplishing it? What steps are you taking daily? Just see it for a moment. Just visualize where you want to be. Just visualize where you know you're intended to be. Because the things that no longer serve you, we're going to remove it. We're going to release it from us. We're no longer going to allow it to enter inside of us. I want you to see that, because it's already there. You visualized it before. You've seen it before. Now it's time to go back to that. Now it's time to revisit that. Now it's time to make that come to fruition. All right? So pick one area of your life when you visualized just a few seconds ago. What did it look like? What were you seeing? What was actually working? What was your day-to-day like? What were you doing? How were you moving? How did you feel? What's the difference about your week? What are you doing on a weekly basis, a day-to-day basis to make that happen? Start getting back into visualizing. It's there. You already know what it is that you want. You already have an idea of what it is that you want. All you have to do is start leaning more into that and write down what you saw. A writing utensil and a piece of paper is the gateway to your life that you've always imagined. So if you take a step back and you start writing things out, and you start even just write out some of the stuff that you've accomplished. I think I've mentioned it before, but in my phone, I have what's called like a good news folder. So every month I write in whatever it is that's good news I received. And by me doing that, it allows me to revisit it sometimes and be like, man, I really did that. I did this last year and I couldn't even comprehend how many things I actually did do. It was quite shocking to me. And last, again, remember, reset is last. And last, one thing that you visualized, write down 3 daily actions that you're going to take moving forward. So today's Sunday. Write down 3 daily actions, just 3, 1, 2, 3, not 10, that you're going to take starting from today moving forward. So let's say, for example, movement is something that you want to incorporate more in Q2. So go for a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk. Okay, weather permitted. I get it. I understand. If it's snowing outside, if it's raining outside, maybe you just do a 20-minute walk tomorrow to make up for today or something, right? Let's say you want to read more books. Okay, grab a book. Grab something already in your home. 10, 15 minutes of reading. Start small and build the habit over time. Habit stack. Just build it over time. And just find 3. 3 things. Write down 3 daily actions to move forward. Now, for those of you who sometimes feel like this is not enough and you're still feeling a little bit stuck, I'm going to give you an acronym that you can use, which I did in the mini workshop, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more. We can talk about it a little bit more, which is the reset acronym. First things first, which we talked about it, reflect. But you want to reflect what's draining you. Before I even get into it, this whole acronym takes honesty with yourself. So first things first, you want to reflect. What is draining me? What is making me feel so heavy? You're not supposed to walk around in life feeling so heavy, You're supposed to actually walk. And don't get me wrong, life's going to be lifing, and I understand that. But if you can control, everything is a choice. So if you could control the things that are draining you, let go of some of them. I understand that some stuff you can't. But you can also, these are some tools that you could take, and I provide frameworks if you're new here that can help you get through that. Now evaluate what habits are you using? Now there's some good habits that help, and there's some not so good habits that help, right? So ask yourself, what habits are you using that's maybe not helping you and that is helping you, right? Keep the ones that are helping you. Simplify. 1 step, 1%. In the moment of reset, you don't need to bombard yourself with a whole bunch of things to do. You can actually slow down the process and simplify it as much as possible to meet you where you are at in your current chapter. Energize. What habits fuel you? What habits make you feel happy? What habits make you feel with joy? What fuels you? What fills your cup? Tap into that and transform. 1 change this week that you can take to make a difference that will just move the needle just a little bit more. Again, this is a tool you can use when you're feeling stuck, and that's a great way that you can break it down. Now I'm going to give you one more step. I don't know where I put my dry eraser, so I'm going to have to use this for now, of how you can make a commitment with yourself. Because I'm all about, we sign contracts like it's nothing. We sign for subscriptions like it's nothing. But one of the hardest contracts you could ever sign is when you have to be honest and real with yourself, right? So you could write this down, or you could screenshot this. You could put, my goal is to, and you fill the blank there. Then you have to say, I will, I made a mistake. I have achieved this by doing this and this, which resulted in. Okay, so you can break this down this way. My goal is to blank. You fill in the blank. I have achieved this by doing blank and blank, which has resulted in blank. At the bottom, I just got to erase this. And you could do this on a sheet of paper or post it, whatever you feel comfortable. You got to sign it and date it. You got to sign it and you got to date it. Place this somewhere where you could see it. Take a screenshot as your screensaver for the next 30 days. But this is this helps hold you accountable to take the one step a day, to do the habits that energize you, to take the one change every week and make and transform, right? This right here, this is your contract for yourself. You could go out kind of and pretty it up if you want to. That's your choice. But or you could just simply write it down. My goal is to blank, whatever your goal is. I have achieved this by doing blank and blank, or just blank, whatever the case is, which resulted in blank, sign and date. Yeah. It's all about us holding ourselves accountable, being honest with ourselves. We can't just continue going on and not tapping what we want and not being honest with ourselves with what we want and what we straight up don't want, right? We actually have to start moving the needle in terms of, look, I'm not feeling this. I feel heavy when I'm doing this. This doesn't feel right. I know I don't have to carry this unlearned. I know I no longer have to carry this. The greatest gift you could ever give yourself as an adult is unlearning the things that don't serve you. Great, you learned them, but you don't have to carry them with you. You could take pieces of them and go along the way, but you don't got to carry it all. You understand? All right. That's all I have for you guys. I appreciate you for tapping in on this Sunday. Happy Easter to many of you, and hope that you are having a great Sunday. You have a great week and great week ahead. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, and I'm going to try to do both moving forward on YouTube and on TikTok. I'm going to try my best. And as always, y'all know what to do. Walk with peace. Walk with love.